Hey, what is going on, everyone? Thanks for watching my video today. Now, yesterday, an NFL trade that has been expected for almost 2 years now finally went down as the Houston Texans finally traded their former star quarterback, Deshaun Watson. He will be sent to the Cleveland Browns. The Browns gave up three future first-round picks, including their first-round pick this year in 2022, as well as a future third-round pick and a fourth-round pick. And Houston also gave them back a fifth-rounder in the trade, with in addition to Watson. Now, this is a trade that's obviously been expected for pretty much since the 2020 season. It all goes back to when the Texans, with their front office in shambles, they hired somehow the team chaplain became the general manager, something crazy like that. And star receiver DeAndre Hopkins, the Texans decided they didn't want to make him the highest paid receiver in the NFL, kind of like the Devontae Adams situation, but a little bit different. And Watson, I guess that's when he started to really start to doubt if the Texans really were passionate, really cared about contending for a Super Bowl. I mean, him and Hopkins had formed one of the deadliest connections in the NFL, helped the Texans remain in playoff contention for a number of years. So after a 4-12 2020 season where Watson had pretty much no help in the receiver room, he requested a trade in the offseason from the Texans, said he would never play for them again. And the sweepstakes began for a number of months until, of course, the many numerous sexual assault, sexual misconduct allegations came out against Watson, and that pretty much, for a minute, we thought might have put an end to really his NFL career. I mean, he sat out the entire season. No team made the trade for him during last season. Everyone was hands off until this situation was cleared up, or at least somewhat addressed. And recently, he was found innocent on all charges of all criminal charges. He was found innocent. So that obviously reopened the market for him. And now, after meeting with the Falcons, the Saints, the Panthers, all the teams trying to defeat Tom Brady, all those teams were left disappointed as Watson decided to choose the Cleveland Browns. And I'm gonna get to the off the field stuff in a moment, but in terms of from an on the field standpoint, I think this is the absolute correct choice for him. I thought he was going to go to the Falcons because of his connections to Atlanta, but that wasn't to be, as the Browns are the team Watson decided to choose to go to, and I think they have the most talent after their recent acquisition of Amari Cooper. I think this Browns offense is suddenly really deadly, and in that absolutely bonkers AFC conference, there's so many teams that I think have a shot, at least a shot, to make the Super Bowl. I think the Browns are once again in this running. The Browns offense right now, I mean, you got your offensive line that 2 years ago in the 2020 season, when the Browns made their run, their first playoff appearance in quite some time, they made it to the AFC divisional round. A big part of that team was the run attack and the offensive line. The offensive line that year, in my opinion, was the best in the league, at least in terms of how they performed. And last year, a lot of injuries to pretty much the O-line and people all around the team overall kind of limited the Browns, and they were unable to make the playoffs, despite remaining somewhat competitive throughout the season. But that Browns O-line, yes, they just released center J.C. Treader, but the other four members of that line are still very much in place. Wyatt Teller and Joel Bitonio are probably the best guard duo in the NFL. Jack Conklin's a great tackle, and Jedrick Wills is a young development tackle who's no slouch himself either. Two great running backs, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And like I said, Cooper is a great number one receiver to have. Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to keep getting better as a threat who can stretch the field. I even like the Jakeem Grant signing. He kind of proved himself as a speedster, a good kick returner as well. So I think this Browns offense, and at tight end, I think David Njoku is ready to finally fulfill his spot as the number one tight end. The Austin Hooper signing pretty much delayed it for a while, but I think he flashed enough potential last year that I think he's going to be able to fulfill that role. And I think this Browns offense is going to be really deadly as long as Watson is the same Watson that he was 2 seasons ago. And even in that 4-12 season, the record doesn't show it, but Watson was absolutely fantastic that year. I think almost everyone considered him a top 5 quarterback. We remember what he did in the 2019 playoffs in those games against the Bills and Chiefs. It was quite a run for him. Now, where he stands now, I'm not sure. Guys like Josh Allen and Justin Herbert, they have arguably surpassed him in the order of the best quarterbacks in the league. I would say they have, but he certainly has the opportunity to get that back. And on the other side of things, the Browns have a great defense. You know, Myles Garrett, probably the best pass rusher besides maybe T.J. Watt in the entire NFL right now. I like their linebacker core, JOK, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the rookie linebacker last year. He figures to keep getting better, be a big part of that defense. Anthony Walker, he was their league leader. He was their leader in tackles last year. He comes back as well. And their corners are all somewhat young and pretty good. I mean, Denzel Ward, we know, is already a Pro Bowl caliber corner, the former 4th overall pick in the draft. And guys like Greg Newsome and Greedy Williams could continue to get better as well. Greg Newsome was only a rookie last year. Grant Delpit at safety had a great college career. He dealt with some injuries his rookie year, so we'll see if he can continue to get better after returning last season. And even John Johnson, the veteran former Ram, he's another good safety they have. I think they do need to improve their pass rush. Jadeveon Clowney, who had 9 sacks last year, he remains a free agent, so they either need to re-sign him or get a viable replacement for him. I think this defense could add a few pieces, but nonetheless, the last 2 or 3 seasons, the Browns have been one of the better defenses in the league, and I don't expect that to change this year. So I think the Browns made a great move to re-solidify themselves as contenders. We'll have to see what happens with Baker Mayfield. I'm assuming he gets traded, likely to the Indianapolis Colts. That seems like a natural fit. Baker thrives with a good offensive line when he has time to throw. I don't think he's a star quarterback, but I think he could help the Colts at least compete in that AFC South division with the Titans if he was to become the starter. And then from the Texans' standpoint, this is what they need. They're going nowhere anytime soon, but they needed the assets. They need to keep getting more picks. Davis Mills will be the quarterback. We'll see what else they have on the team this year, because right now it's pretty barren besides Brandon Cooks, and he might even get traded. I'm hoping my Packers make a move to get him potentially. But the Texans are in a mass rebuild, and this is what they needed to do. So I think this is a big win for them as well. And as for Watson's off-the-field issues, to say the least, my point I would make is that it's certainly a sensitive topic. I'm not going to pretend like I have the answers or I'm the right person to talk about this, but my opinion on it, and this is just my opinion, that whether you believe he's actually innocent or you think he got off totally scot-free and pretty much evaded what should have been a lot of jail time, at the end of the day, his NFL career is just going to continue. I think it's no different than Ray Lewis or Ben Roethlisberger. There's probably plenty of other examples I'm neglecting, but I think what you don't have to have a positive opinion of him. All I would say is that I think the drama of the legality situation is pretty much over, unless a suspension comes out. But the Browns have already committed to pay him all his money, even if he is suspended. So it seems like whether we like it or not, the NFL is gonna, and the Browns especially, are kind of gonna brush this under the rug and just move forward as if he is cleared of these legal charges, which he is. He is cleared of all criminal charges. So that's my opinion on the situation, but you don't have to agree with me. It'll be interesting to see how the Browns stack up in the AFC this coming season. There's plenty of teams, even in their own division. The Ravens and Bengals are certainly going to be in the race as well. And even the Steelers, I think they'll be last place, but they have a good defense. They certainly have blue chippers on defense. They have a good running back in Najee Harris, so they'll be frisky as well. This AFC is going to be absolutely insane. I'm excited to see what happens come the 2022 NFL season. So thank you guys for watching my video today. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And other than that, thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.